You're sitting in the dealership. The salesman just said those magic words. I can get you into this car for just $500 a month. And in that moment, it feels doable, reasonable even. You make decent money, $500 a month? You can handle that. But here's what nobody tells you in that leather chair, surrounded by the smell of new car and the promise of approval. That $500 isn't just a monthly payment. It's the single biggest barrier between you and actual wealth. It's the reason you'll work 5, 10, maybe 20 extra years before you can retire. It's the quiet thief that's been stealing your future, 1 month at a time. And the worst part? You're not alone. Millions of smart, hardworking people are trapped in the exact same cycle. Not because they're irresponsible, but because nobody ever showed them the real math. Here's what we're covering today. The true cost of that car payment you think you can afford, the psychological trap that keeps you locked in for decades, and most importantly, the exact system wealthy people use to break free from this cycle forever. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your car payment isn't just expensive, it's expensive in ways that compound against you for the rest of your life, and you'll know exactly what to do about it, starting today. I'm James, and I've spent far too much time breaking down how the rich actually think and what they do differently that no one ever teaches you. And if you're ready to stop working for your car and start building real wealth, hit that subscribe button because we're going 1 mile at a time. Together, let me tell you about the moment most people realize they're trapped. It's not when they sign the papers. It's not even in the first year when that new car still feels worth it. It's 3 years in, maybe 4. When the excitement has worn off, when you realize you still owe $18,000 on a car that's now worth $12,000, when you start thinking about trading it in and the dealer tells you you're upside down, that's when it hits you. You don't own this car owns you. And here's the thing. This isn't some fringe problem. According to Experian, the average car payment in America is now $736 for new cars and $542 for used. The average loan length? 68 months for new cars. That's almost 6 years of your life locked into a depreciating asset. But it gets worse because most people don't drive that car for 6 years and call it done. They trade it in after 3 or 4 years, still owing money, and roll that negative equity into the next loan. Longer term, higher payment. The cycle repeats. You're not building wealth. You're renting your own financial stress. So let's talk about what's really happening here. Let's talk about the cost everyone ignores. When you finance a car for $500 a month, you're not just paying $500 a month. You're paying $500 that could have been invested. You're paying interest on a loan for something that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. And you're giving up the single most powerful force in wealth building, compound growth. Here's the math they don't show you at the dealership. Let's say you finance a $35,000 car at 6% interest for 72 months. Your payment? Around $580 a month. Over 6 years, you'll pay about $41,760 total. But the car? It's worth maybe $15,000 by the time you're done. You just spent $41,760 to own something worth $15,000. Now here's where it gets painful. What if instead of that payment, you bought a reliable $8,000 used car in cash and invested that $580 a month into the S&P 500? In 30 years, at an average 10% annual return, that $580 a month becomes $1.3 million. Let me say that again. The difference between financing new cars your whole life and investing that money is over $1 million. That's not theory, that's math. And if this is starting to make sense, if you're realizing how much this one decision has been costing you, make sure you're subscribed because we're just getting started. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about the psychology. Car payments feel small because they're broken down into monthly chunks. $500 a month doesn't sound like much when you're making $5,000 or $6,000 a month. It's less than 10%, right? Manageable. But your brain is lying to you because $500 for 6 years is $36,000. And if you do that every 6 years for 30 years, which is what most people do, you're spending $180,000 on car payments alone, not including insurance, not including gas, not including maintenance. $180,000 that never builds equity, never grows, never works for you. Here's what dealerships know that you don't. They've trained you to think in monthly payments, not total cost. They'll say things like, for just $50 more a month, you can upgrade to the premium package. And it sounds harmless, but $50 a month over 72 months is $3,600 for heated seats. They extend loan terms from 60 months to 72, then to 84. Not because it helps you, but because it keeps the monthly payment looking affordable while you pay thousands more in interest. And the cycle never stops, because by the time you're halfway through paying off the car, it feels old. You start seeing commercials for the new model, your friends upgrade, and the dealership sends you a letter. You're pre-approved to trade in. So you do, and the negative equity from your current loan gets rolled into the new one. You're now financing $40,000 to drive a $35,000 car, and the cycle starts again. This is why you feel like you're always making money but never getting ahead. Now let's talk about what rich people do differently, because here's the truth. Most millionaires don't drive new cars. According to Thomas Stanley's research in The Millionaire Next Door, the average millionaire drives a car that's several years old. They're not buying $70,000 SUVs on credit. They're buying reliable used cars and keeping them for 10+ years. Why? Because they understand something most don't. A car is a tool, not a status symbol, and tools don't need to be new to work. Wealthy people follow what I call the 20-4-10 rule. Put down at least 20%, finance for no more than 4 years, keep total transportation costs under 10% of gross income. But honestly, most of them don't even finance. They save up and pay cash for used cars. Not because they can't afford new, but because they'd rather invest the difference. Here's what that looks like in practice. Instead of financing a $40,000 car, they buy a 3 to 5-year-old version of the same car for $20,000 in cash. That's the sweet spot. Past the steepest depreciation, but still reliable and in warranty in many cases. Then they take what would have been the monthly payment, let's say $600, and invest it every single month. After 6 years, they still have a paid-off car worth maybe $12,000, but they also have over $60,000 invested, plus growth. Meanwhile, the person who financed new has a car worth $15,000 and no investments. The gap only widens from there. This is the difference between looking rich and being rich. So, what do you do if you're already stuck in a car payment? First, stop the bleeding. Don't trade it in. Don't upgrade. Don't roll negative equity into a new loan. That's just digging the hole deeper. Instead, pay extra toward the principal every month. Even an extra $100 a month can shave years off your loan and save thousands in interest. If you're really underwater, owing significantly more than the car is worth, your goal is simple: get to even. Once you're at zero negative equity, you have options. And if your interest rate is terrible, 7% plus, look into refinancing through a credit union. You might be able to cut your rate and your monthly payment, freeing up cash to invest. But here's the most important part. Start building your next car fund right now. Open a separate savings account. Put $200, $300, $500 a month into it, whatever you can. When your current car is paid off, keep making that payment to yourself. In a few years, you'll have enough cash to buy your next car outright. And once you do that, you never have a car payment again, ever. If you're starting to see how this works, how one decision can change your entire financial trajectory, go ahead and like this video and stick with me because we're about to talk about what happens when you break free. Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like without a car payment. Imagine waking up and realizing that $500, $600, $700 a month is just yours. You're not sending it to a bank. You're not underwater on a loan. That money can go toward investments, toward your emergency fund, toward your kid's college fund, toward freedom. And it's not just about the money, it's about flexibility. When you don't have a car payment, you can take a lower paying job you actually enjoy. You can move to a cheaper city without worrying about keeping up with the loan. You can weather a layoff or an emergency without panic. You're not chained to a minimum income just to keep the repo man away. Here's the real transformation. Financially, that $500 a month invested at 10% for 30 years becomes $1.1 million. That's not a typo. One single decision, drive a paid-off car instead of financing new ones, can literally make you a millionaire. Psychologically, you stop seeing your car as a reflection of your success and start seeing it as a tool that gets you from A to B. And that shift, that's when you stop caring what people think and start caring about what you're building. Freedom-wise, you cut one of the biggest fixed expenses from your life, and every fixed expense you eliminate is one step closer to financial independence, one step closer to not needing the job, the grind, the stress. This is what people don't understand. Your car payment isn't just $500 a month. It's $500 a month that keeps you stuck. Stuck in a job you hate. Stuck in a city you don't want to live in. Stuck working years longer than you have to. The real luxury isn't a new car. The real luxury is choice. Here's what I want you to remember. The goal was never just to save money on a car. The goal is to free up your most valuable resources, your money and your time, so you can build the life you actually want. Every dollar you're not sending to a car loan is a dollar you can invest in your future. Every month you're not locked into a payment is a month you have more freedom, more flexibility, more peace of mind. And yeah, it's not sexy. Driving a paid-off 2018 Honda doesn't turn heads like a brand new luxury SUV. But you know what does turn heads? Retiring at 50 while your friends are still grinding. Having 6 months of expenses saved while everyone else is one paycheck away from disaster. Being able to say no to a job, a city, a life you don't want because you're not trapped by payments. Your car payment isn't just destroying your wealth, it's destroying your options. And the fastest way to get them back is to break the cycle right now. If this video changed how you think about money, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, because we're just getting started on this journey to financial freedom. And remember, progress happens 1 mile at a time. Now go watch this next video, where I break down the 3 purchases that keep most people poor forever. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm James, and I'll see you in the next one.